All right, y'all. It's time. A legend is here. A big
and
dog.
she looks beautiful,
a
might
big
I
dog
add.
to say the absolute least. I'm excited about this. You excited?
Oh, I'm excited.
I think they're going to be excited about this one. Our next guest has been in this for a very long time. For over 20 years,
Yep.
she has truly demonstrated what it means to be a master of craft. She's a prime example of what it means to be a culture shaker.
She shined lights on Hidden Figures, showed us what it means to be a female boss running an empire, and so much more. Please give it up for creative genius, the one, the only, Taraji P Henson. You look beautiful.
Hey, y'all.
Doesn't she look fantastic, y'all?
And she smells amazing, by the way.
Thank
You
you.
smell phenomenal.
Thank you.
So, you're a legend. I don't have to tell you, you already know.
Oh, thanks.
She know that.
I don't know, because on the Shade Room, they was like, what show y'all think need another season? And y'all, nobody said Empire.
Y'all, come on. But, so, you know, your journey to Hollywood, though, was an unconventional one, but
Yeah.
it served as an inspiration to so many. So you moved with only $700 to your name, but it was actually wise words from your dad that encouraged you to make the move. What did
Yeah.
he tell you?
Well, I went to Howard University. HU.
Hey!
So I went to Howard University, and that's where I studied musical theater and acting. And I was in D.C. And when I graduated, he was like, how do you expect to catch fish on dry land? And my father used to speak in metaphors a lot. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the job, the fish. That's what you need. You got to go where the fish are. So my family, as broke as they were, God bless them, had a party, and they raised like $700 and sent me on my way on a buddy pass, me and my son.
And it was worth it.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
was worth it.
You spoke about it in your memoir, but what would you say was the most difficult part about making your first dent in Hollywood? Making that first step, that first little splash?
I would have to say finding the team that believed in my talent. Once I found that, then it was off to the races. But it takes a minute. It's like finding a lover.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Now, we fell in love with so many of your iconic roles over the years, you know, from Baby Boy, Cookie from Empire, Katherine Johnson, Proud Mary, I Can Do Bad All By Myself. This list is so impressive.
Thanks.
But I'm wondering for you, what goes into choosing that role? What goes into finding something that you believe in and wanting to, you know, put yourself forward for?
I like roles that are going to challenge me, roles that I think people need representation of, roles that can seem a bit stereotypical, but I know how to ground them and make them feel seen. Like Cookie, I almost didn't do Cookie, but I understood that the Cookies of the world needed representation. I remember when I did Hustle and, I remember when Hustle and Flow was out and about, and a lot of people didn't want to play a hoe. But I was like, hoes need love too. And, but it's not about that, it's about representation. You understand? People need to see themselves on the screen. It's about changing perspectives of different kinds of people, especially us. So I always look for roles that I can bring some integrity to.
And for so many black women, like you said about Cookie and all of your other characters, it relates to a certain lived experience.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes it's perseverance, triumph. For black women, a lot of times it's trauma. So how do you tap into that and those energies?
How do I tap into the strong woman?
Those feelings that of the multifaceted
I'm
characters.
a black woman. You got to be multifaceted to maneuver in this world. So I tap into my own, what I do, what I would do in those situations. You know, how would I overcome? How I feel like I'm the little. I went to Hollywood, an underdog. You know what I mean? So I identify with those roles because I'm always rooting for the underdog. You know, so I just tap into my own personal experiences, and if I can't, then I do research, or I'll call someone who I know went through the same, you know, experience that a character that I might be portraying has gone through.
But outside of acting, you're a big proponent of mental health.
Oh, absolutely.
Specifically with your foundation, the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, which you
Yes.
founded in 2018. You know, why is eradicating the stigma surrounding mental health for the Black community so important to you?
Because we're left out in those conversations. We don't talk about it. You're talking about Black people. We have been dealing with trauma that has been passed down to us since slavery. We still have not dealt with that. There's trauma in our DNA that we have not dealt with. And we're the ones dying. We're the ones dying by suicide. Our children, the numbers have doubled. And I was compelled to start a foundation because I'm an empath. So when life got difficult for me and my son, it was hard to find help. And I'm a privileged woman. Like, I can afford, you know, care for me and my son. But then I started thinking about our community and the fact that we don't even talk about it. And we're hurting. And how can I help my entire community? And so I started the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation.
You mentioned it a minute ago, but you are, yeah, make some noise for Taraji.
Claps for that.
Make some
I'm
noise
just
for
trying
that.
to help save us, y'all.
Like I was saying, though, you mentioned it a minute ago, but you are a proud product of an HBCU.
Yes.
I have a feeling there's some other products of HBCUs in the building.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. But Howard is the real HU.
Well, we all know
Howard
that.
is the real HU.
I'm out of this debate. That's something. Y'all to decide. But you took, you know, your presence from an HBCU all the way to the White House because you serve on a board with the White House. I believe it's called the President's Board of Advisors on HBCUs.
Yes.
Why do you think it's important for an initiative like that, and how do you continue to make sure that that's propelling the next generation of students from HBCUs?
Because, I mean, we've all been to HBCUs, right? We have our gripes. Things weren't, all the T's weren't crossed and the I's dotted. So you need help. You know, you need help. You need help from the boss, you know, from the White House, you know. How else will the voices be heard? How else can we help? I mean, you know, Howard is always known for doing sit-ins, you know, so I felt, and I saw what happened at Howard the last time, and what instead of getting emotional and getting on Instagram or being emotional, I decided to do something else that I felt like that could help in a bigger way.
You had this quote that you said one time. It was kind of like a bar, but you said it was something about transferable energy and how you have to be careful about the energy you keep around you because it will circle back. But there's a lot of young creatives in here who need advice in kind of building that tribe and building their own community. So if you could just drop a couple gems on us like Salt Bae, what do you got for advice picking that community?
I would just say this: the older you get, the smaller your your friend of circles get. You'll go ahead, clap for that, baby. That's real. I got a lot of bodies. They like, what happened? You got kicked off the bus. No, but you have to protect your energy. Like, energy is very transferable, and I've said this in an interview before. If you hanging out with somebody with a dark cloud over them, you think you're not gonna get wet from the storm? So it's all about who you have around you. If you want to make straight A's, then you sit in the front of the class with Johnny and Patricia who getting straight A's. You don't sit in the back of the class with the class clowns because you're going to make the F's with them. You know, so you got to get around those who got your solution and get from around those who got the same problems.
A word.
So once you found that circle of friends, I think you got it.
Well, speaking of tribe, you are a part of the Color Purple.
Yes.
With a ensemble cast that is to die for. Anjanou Ellis, Fantasia, Haley Bailey, just to name a few. What was it like to experience such a dynamic cast of dynamic Black women at once?
Amazing. I can't wait for you guys to see this. Actually, two of our cast members are on Broadway right now, Corey and Danielle Brooks. Corey's in Top Dog Underdog, and Danielle is in Piano Lesson, in case you want to see them bless the stage, because they are absolutely amazing. But it was empowering. It was empowering. And for the first time for me, I think you guys are going to be experiencing the Color Purple for the first time from a Black perspective, if you understand what I mean. No dig to one of our producers, Steven Spielberg, but he even understood the importance of a black person telling this story. And you will see the differences right away. And that's why it's important for all you filmmakers and writers and up-and-coming producers and directors, we must tell our stories. It's so important.
And you talked about how this adaptation varies from the original.
Yeah.
But what was the day-to-day like on set? I know y'all were cutting up on set every day.
It was a lot of fun. Well, you know, this is the musical version, so it's literally it's a combination of the book, the play, the Broadway musical, and Steven Spielberg's film. So you get all of it. But what I love about it is that it doesn't harm. You know, black people, y'all know, we know how to find a joy in a situation, right? We can turn our pain into joy, and that's what makes us so incredible, right? And so that's what I love about this particular film, because it doesn't harp on the trauma. I mean, you can't deal with this story without getting into, you know, but we live inside of Celie's imagination where the joy is. So it's a very joyous film.
We know that you're going to keep breaking barriers in the acting division. You're an award-winning actress, and obviously there's so much more to do there, but you're also doing some other stuff on the business side. You are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about TPH Entertainment and maybe what you're hoping for young creatives.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you want to see change, you got to be the change, right? So you create opportunities. I hate sitting around waiting for somebody to give me something. So I create my own doors to open and to bring people through.
And you know, I'm a big beauty girl.
Yes.
I'm also a big TPH by Taraji fan.
Yes.
It's something about the three-pronged scalp thing. Y'all, for the ladies that wear wigs and sew-ins, I am here to let you know her scalp products are second to none. But why beauty? What made you say, well, I know why beauty, but but for anybody who doesn't know, why the hair care brand?
So a lot of you may not know, but I didn't get accepted to Duke Ellington School of Fine Arts, which was, I thought, that's where I was gonna go, but God has a sense of humor. You wanna make them laugh, tell them your plans. So when that didn't happen, I always had an affinity for cosmetology. So I tried to get into a cosmetology school, but I missed it by 1 year. So it was always in me. When I was in college, I was doing $20 roller sets. I learned how to do acrylic nails, and I was doing $20 sets out of the basement of my dad's house. I was a hustler, y'all. So that thing was always in me. And how TPH came about is I never really wore weaves because I couldn't afford them. But when I got to Hollywood, I heard so many horror stories about black women losing their edges and their hair coming out from, you know, all of the processes for being on film, on TV. And so I started getting a weave. But then I was like, but how do I care for my hair under here? And when people started seeing my natural hair, they would all, so I think it was Think Like a Man when people really started, because I didn't really wear my hair in films. But I decided to wear my bob in that movie. And I just remember a lot of women going, how did you keep your hair so healthy and blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't explain it in 141 characters, so I created a TPH care line and shared it with you. And I made it affordable. And TPH is all about luxurious products at an affordable price.
Real quick, I want to give everybody a chance to open up their notes app, take out your pen, because I feel like this might be something that we need to write down.
Don't miss this one.
Taraji, what is a life lesson that you wish you could have learned a little bit earlier?
A life lesson that I wish I could have learned, that I can't fix nobody. I can't fix a man. I can't fix my friend. I can't fix my parents. You know who the person I can fix and work on? And I wish I learned that earlier, because I got some war scars trying to fix people, child.
And speaking of that, because I know that it's relevant to there are so many successful black men and women in the audience. Dating and love as a creative.
It's hard.
What's your advice to it?
Ooh, I don't know if they want I'm single, so what am I saying? I mean, but I'm happily single. Do you know what that means? Like I'm not, because after a while I realized my pattern. through therapy. And once I realized my pattern, I had to break it. And that meant I had to stand still in my own shit. Excuse me, kids, if any kids are out there. But I had to stand still and ground myself in my own mess and fix myself before I call myself going out here fixing somebody else. You can't fix nobody that don't know they broken and don't know that they have issues. So.
A word.
It's been many words.
Many words.
Many words. Before we let you go, I got a quick couple rapid fire questions
We'll
for
play a
you.
game with you.
Rapid fire.
Just before
Oh,
we
Lord,
get you
this
out of
make
here,
me
I'm wondering
nervous.
what
Okay.
is the best movie that you've watched?
Woman King.
Mm.
Woman
There we
King,
go.
baby.
That was quick and efficient,
That was-
and
Yes.
everybody in the room agreed with you.
If you haven't seen it, go see it. You must go see it. You have to support. Anytime you see a black woman, the number one, the star of the movie, if you want to continue to see us, if you want to continue to have those opportunities for those coming up behind us, you got to support it.
Well, that
That's the-
meme of you opening your arms to Viola Davis
Oh, yeah.
will forever live in my heart.
Well, that's just who I am. I was very thrown off when they made it such like news. It's like, that's what I do. I root for my friends. I mean, that was weird. Like, it was headline news.
Second quick fire question is you have to play one role forever, Proud Mary or Cookie from
I
Empire?
want to play not one role forever.
If you had to choose between the
I
two.
would have to be Cookie Lion.
Yes, I think we'd all agree.
And our last one for you, rap or R&B?
Both.
Depends on the day.
Yeah,
Both.
Is it by the week, maybe
Do
by the season?
you know, rap and R&B have kind of merged, so I mean both.
You know, but some people are saying that R&B is dead.
No, I don't believe that. Do y'all believe that? No, hell no. That's a slap in the face to my sister Mary J, who's still
Amen.
holding it down.
Amen.
SZA. I mean,
Amen.
it's so many. Like, we can't go there. That's no.
So what's the
I
song that you
disagree.
listen to when you are really feeling it? Like when you are feeling like a bad bitch, what is the song that you listen to?
I don't know. It depends on my mood that day. I still love Mary J's Just Fine. That's sort of like an anthem of mine. So whenever I'm feeling down, I'll just throw that on and start dancing around the house. It's several others, but that's the one that my go-to song.
Well, Taraji, you are a ray of light. Can we get another round of
One
applause
more
for
time
her?
for Taraji P
Yes.
Henson.
Thank you.